Hey, real quick, and I always say real quick, and I end up rambling for like 9 minutes, but hopefully I'll make it quick. But, we always talk about how the government is out of touch with the people. And, when I talk to people, it seems like people are also out of touch with each other. And so I think in order for us to get the government back in touch with the people need to get back in, touch with each other. And I say get back in touch with each other in the respect of getting to know each other and understanding that everyone in this country is not experiencing things the same way. Everybody, definitely have different experiences that govern how they look at things and even their responses. I had a guy ask me, like, why aren't these people in the inner city electing, better officials? And I'm like, a lot of these people are oblivious of the political process. They don't understand it. They don't understand what their place is in it, let alone do they regularly participate in it or even think to. So I think that we need to kind of step back before we can expect for our government to understand our needs and understand our wants and kind of understand what each other need and want first. Then we can, create, the expectations that works for everyone. And I think that's valuable because, some people are very educated in the political process. A lot of people are not. Even some educated people are not educated in the political process because we've been programmed and conditioned not to even talk about things like religion and politics because we're afraid that it might cause people to feel some kind of way. But that is exactly why we need to have those discussions back in the square, because obviously a lot of people feel manipulated by what we have been projected versus what we have actually experienced. So my encouragement for people is to kind of dig outside of your area, because I think a lot of people don't understand that life in the inner city is significantly different than life in the countryside, which is what one of my connections made that point. And I agree with that because even, I don't know what poverty in the country and rural areas look like. But, in terms of the layers of poverty and the recourse of poverty, I've seen that, play out. And I've heard stories of individuals from the country that lived in situations of poverty. And they also lived in the reality of an abusive mother or abusive father as well. So, in the inner city, I know that level of poverty and the mindset of that poverty and those experiences are the same, But then there's this extra layer of gang violence and other traumatizing things that happen in the inner city that maybe someone who experiences poverty in the country may not, know or understand or comprehend. And that countryside, too, may also be a lot of people in rural areas, from what I understand, they either homeschool their children, teaching them the values that they want them to know, or if they are in a public school, a lot of those, the schooling is typically more on the conservative line of thinking about the country. They're not being taught to hate their country. These people are being taught to hate their country or their selves in their country in every little educational way possible. And, there's a difference in psychology there. And I focus on, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a sociologist, but I think about those things, as a human observer. And I think that you don't really need to have credentials to observe human behavior and make a logical assessment. I'm not writing papers, scholarly papers on anything, but I am a human being that can observe the behaviors of individuals. And I can honestly say that we don't understand each other. And because we don't understand each other, we're not able to coalesce in a way that makes sense, and even resolve a lot of our issues that we have in our differences. So I think that we need to get back to trying to understand each other and understand that, you know, regardless of what tribe you represent in this country, you're still an American. We're all still Americans. And regardless of our differences, you know, I think that we all can come together and agree that, you know, we all want the same things. You know, we all want to be able to get up, have a job to go to, or, you know, whether you're an entrepreneur or if you like working for other people, we want to be able to provide for our families. We want to be able to make the most of what we earn and not be tax crazy, you know. I think, you know, one of my friends said, you know, we're all liberal in the way we socialize, but we're conservative about our money. We're all conservative about our money, whether you understand the conservative ideology or not. It's a traditional way of looking at things. But, you know, at the end of the day, for me, I want my money. If I'm working for it, I don't want the government asking me to pay its bills. You know, I believe that tax should, I believe in taxation, okay? I'm not an anti-taxer. I just don't believe in outrageously increased tax because the government screwed up and now we have to pay for their screw-ups. I don't believe in that type of taxation, and I feel like that's what's happening. And if it's not happening, then IRS and, you know, Federal Reserve, all you guys, whoever you guys are, let us know if you can break down the code so that we can understand that that's not happening. Because, you know, to what I see is, you know, a lot of people screwing up in Washington, making deals, not doing their job, and now we got to pay for that shit. And that sucks, you know. So, anyways, hope everybody is well. Try to understand somebody new today. Like, literally, you know, approach somebody and say, hey, I know that there's a lot of racial tension going on right now, but I want to understand somebody else's life. And if you're not open, that's fine, but I really want to understand life through your lens. And you'd be amazed at how, you know, much more understanding you will become just doing that with people. I have learned so much from other people just by looking at life through their lens. And that's how I also fine-tune my rationality about things. It's just listening to people, getting their experiences, understanding what I know, and, you know, just being more critical about it. So learn more about people today. And happy Friday.